Don't worry. Continue your program. Oh boy, it's really something. It was fantastic. You couldn't ever imagine.
Welcome to Planet Pluto.
You go the other way. Go back the other way. Well, that's kind of rich. Pretty spectacular. God, what is that there? That's a hollow. What the hell is that? Don't tangle. It's kind of right there now. Oh, yeah, we got it. We marked it. Close communication. Bravo, tango.
Bravo. Whoop, whoop. Tango. Hey. What's happening, blacks? How are you guys doing out there? Y'all know who it is, right? It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, a.k.a. Key Lolo, coming to you live and direct from Cleveland, Ohio, in my granddaughter's bedroom, a.k.a. my social media room. And then over here, y'all know who it is, right? It's the one and only. There she is. The hair oracle, a.k.a. Cheryl Morrow. What's happening, y'all? We see y'all. They in the chat. They ready for tonight. Man, I'm telling y'all. Hey, Rashida. Hey, ladies, we got some treats for y'all tonight. A handsome treat. We are officially 67 episodes in. You are on Planet Pluto Pseudo, and it is all about maximizing your networking potentials for your barber and beauty professionals and entrepreneurs, and of course our hair aficionados. We are so happy you guys are going to rock it out with us. We're going to focus on 3 themes tonight. We're going to be talking about networking, motivation, and reputation. So if you are an entrepreneur, you're in the barber and beauty industry, you're just trying to, figure out how you're going to get ready for the new year or tomorrow. Because me and Cheryl, we believe in Carpe Diem. Ain't that right, Cheryl? We just I'm Carpe and she's DM. Seize it. So you don't have to wait until 2025 to take advantage of the treat that we are about to bring on to you guys momentarily. We're talking about one of Cleveland's, he's definitely Cleveland's favorite tech entrepreneur. We're talking about Mr. J.R. Fogle. And if you are in Cleveland, you're from Cleveland or another state, and you like to network, you like to be around people who are movers and shakers, but the key word is authentic. You probably already know who JR is, or maybe you've heard of him. Sometimes we're just looking for real people to talk about some real, you know what I'm saying? JR is that person. So get ready tonight. So get your questions ready, because Charlotte and I, we cannot be the only people in the industry. We know there's a lot of people. After all, this is what we do here on Planet Pluto Pseudo. We use science, right? A lot of history, and of course, technology. We just did a whole thing on AI so that we can keep our industry united. We want to make sure that the information that we're sharing with you guys is sound, it's credible. You can take it back to work and use it immediately, because my boss is in the chat, and y'all know what y'all got to do. Ain't that right, boss? Drop them L's, because Lovina is in the chat. What's up, boss? Can you stay up late? Because I need to talk to you after I go live. I know she's like, oh my God, Ladosha. Oh, Yate, you are going to love this one tonight. I'm telling y'all, you guys are not going to regret. Oh, we got California is in the chat.
No doubt.
What's happening, California? Hey, what's up, Miss Paula Stewart? My cousin Brenda is over on Instagram showing me mad love. New body formations. I need to call you like right now, because I need a new body. All right. So Instagram is always so good to us. I'm very excited to be bringing in JR with us momentarily. Cheryl, anything crazy exciting happening over in California? Any
the governor declared a state of emergency for some virus.
What?
Yeah, we got something going on.
Yeah, we got something going on. Okay.
Wash
Well,
your hands, y'all. Y'all better get your guts and your stomach and your immune system.
now, so with that being said, I'm glad you mentioned that.
I'm glad
Don't forget, because now remember, we're getting you guys ready for 2025, and so we're going to end the new year. We got some great giveaways, but remember, we're going to have the one and only Dr. Joy Scott. She's the health nutritionist, so she's going to be our last guest, and then also of the year, we're going to end our podcast season with a bang. We're talking about giveaways, homes, and books, and so much more. So, if health is your thing, please, guys, get ready. We're gonna have so much fun on that. I'm gonna get drunk while we live. You know, I'm gonna have my Kool-Aid, boss. Lavina, like, you better not. Y'all should hear my boss's accent. Ain't that right, Cheryl? Lavina be like, let those you better not. Hey, boss, sorry to put your business out there. Like, she like, what? My boss do not play. Ain't that right? What's up, Lawana? How you doing? We got our virtual co-host, Miss Weekends, in the chat. She says it's called the bird flu. Ooh.
Yeah.
No, I ain't heard that. All right. Rashida said drop them L's. All right. So what we're gonna do, the chat is already full. And Mr. JR, he's got some wonderful things to do. So what I'm gonna do is bring Mr. JR in. Now, again, if you are an entrepreneur, or maybe you're just an everyday cool person like Key Lolo, and you want to get some information about, taking yourself to the next level. And the one thing I like about what we're doing, Cheryl, is that we bring in like real people who do stuff and
who do this.
Oh, shoot. JR is in the chat like everybody right now. Let me drop. He said, text local to 33777. This guy coming through.
93 left.
Hold on, let me write this down. Hold on, y'all. He said, text local. Let me spell. Hold on, JR. I got you, baby. See, that's what we're talking about. Everybody get y'all cell phones out. We got a few more minutes. LOKUL. Let me get back over here on Instagram. Hold y'all underwear 1 second. LOKUL to 33. And that's going to be 3 7s. Everybody, I want y'all to pull your phones out right now. And see, this is why we're bringing these types of people on. So Shirley and I, we got our phones. And I'm going to text. So in your thing, you're going to type in 33777. And we're going to send. Am I doing that right, JR? He's going to let me know when I come in. So I just sent that, and I hope I did that right. Oh, I did it. Come on now, y'all. Come on now. That's what y'all do. Everybody come on right now. Pull your phones out. This is what you guys asked for on Planet Pluto Pseudo. This is the real deal. Pull out your phones, and then you're going to type in 33777, and it's going to say welcome to local. So let's do that right now. And Cheryl, we never had that type of excitement coming through here. You know, they all on Instagram like, "Hey, JR!" I keep telling y'all, this man is the whip. What's up, Miss Crazy T? How you doing? What's up, T Tuck 88? All right, so we got some. What's up, Nurse E3? How you guys doing up there? My cousin said you want some snow. I'll bring it to you, Brenda. You don't want none of this smoke. My brother, yo, Shan, pull out your phone and text 33777. And while you're doing that, I want you guys to put your right hand together and your left hand. And I'm going to get ready because we're going to bring in this guy who's asking us to do this texting. And this is Mr. J.R. Fogle. And again, he is Cleveland-based tech entrepreneur. So come on, y'all. Let's give him a big round of applause. He's done our texting. Come on. Come on, stand up now, y'all. Here he goes right here. Booyah! Time to give it to you.
What's going on?
There he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. J.R. Fogle. And there it is on the screen. He's
There we
asking
go. There we go.
everybody to take the opportunity to text local to 33777. And that's what you call dynamism. You see what I'm saying, Cheryl? That's got to be like the most exciting introduction we've had
In a while.
in a while, you know.
Yeah, ever.
Ever, for real. It takes JR to do that. This is right up Cheryl's alley. I can tell you right now. She's salivating. She's gonna be calling you, JR, like Dosha. We need to get with him like yesterday. I can tell you that right now. Okay. Wike said, and while you're texting JR, she says, don't forget, thank you, Wike, to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because the content that you are about to get tonight, that should definitely motivate you guys to subscribe again to the Afro Hair Science YouTube channel. You are on Planet Pluto Pseudo, and this is for the licensed professionals in the barber and beauty industry, of course, students, teachers, faculty, and of course, our lovely hair aficionados. And our goal is really to change the narrative, you know, by just offering you guys wonderful, correct information, again, using science, history, and technology, so that we can unite and elevate our industry to the next level. And I am Key Lolo, and then over there is Cheryl Morrow, a.k.a. the Hair Oracle, and we are excited. So JR, thank you so very much for hanging out with the hot, because you're going to the hot boys. So tonight you're with the hot girls.
Oh, okay.
All right. He's like, all right now.
All right, now listen.
He's on his way to Houston, right? And you've got some wonderful things you're doing with your business. So what I'm going to do, JR, so I got some little, you know, images here that's just going to highlight. I'm just going to tell everybody how I met you, and then I'm going to have you come in and give everybody a little bit more detail information about what you do and who you are. And everybody, now remember, you can replay this. And JR is a person that you can actually reach out and touch. He is not an untouchable. He's not bougie. He is a true professional entrepreneur. And I met him in Cleveland working at the hair salon. And he comes in and he's telling me that he's going to create an app. And he wants to put, you know, businesses on this app. Now, you're not nothing about no apps, but I'm like, this sounds pretty cool, like very progressive. And it's like a yellow pages. I'm old school. I'm telling my age. They probably don't know what a yellow page is now. And they don't know. Y'all don't know what a yellow page is. Y'all too young. And he put your business on the app, and people could go and look for businesses. And I'm here to tell you, I got some business, and he asked me would I support him, and no doubt, who doesn't want to be a part of something wonderful and new?
Absolutely.
And I'm here to tell you, I got business off of that app, and they still come and get their hair done. JR, how many years ago was that? Was that like 4 years ago?
Yeah, right before the pandemic. So
yeah, it was before the pandemic. Wow. Yeah, and so he was going. You were on your way to Atlanta. See how much I remember? He's always like going places and everything, doing wonderful things. And so he's in and out of town. When I tell you, this guy has like soirees and intimate setting events where you meet the most unique, progressive, down to earth. Like, one of the things about networking that I really didn't like is that sometimes people could just be so bougie. And I'm like, y'all know I'm from the hood. Ain't that right, Yate? You know what I'm saying? Yate, I ain't saying you ghetto. I'm just saying, you know. And I'm a homegirl. And so JR's events is truly for entrepreneurs who, like me, I don't know everything. Mm-hmm. Also, you like to meet people and you want to see results. And it's a mixed group. So I brought like Ebony. I had like younger people with me. It was people from all ages. It wasn't an all Black thing. It was very eclectic. And the environments was always so sexy. And then JR is so fine, which always helps. It always helps when a guy is fine.
Hey, you making a Black man blush.
I'm telling you, but he's very professional. He's always on point, lady. So you don't have to worry about no hanky panky there. He's a true professional entrepreneur. What's up, Hair Addiction? I love that name. What's up, Marcy and D? Collections by Carol. We so appreciate you guys. And don't forget to please text local to 33777. Let's go ahead on and show our brother some support. So a little bit about who he is right quick. Here's just an example of some of the wonderful things that he's doing. Now, this is all Cleveland stuff. I couldn't put all his stuff. You guys can follow him on social media. He's going to give you all of that information. But here's an example of some of the things that he's done. This one here was a Meet Me There, and this was at the Great Lakes Science Center. And he's going to go more into detail about his local tech and marketing. So there it is. Text local to 33777. And here's all the wonderful things that he has to offer by way of graphic design. You got app development starting at $1,500. Well, that's extremely affordable. Websites starting at $400. Look at that, guys.
Wow.
Marketing, social media management, photography. And you know, people always want to know like how much. Very upfront, proofs the same day, payment options. Dude, hold on. Sure, let me drop the bomb on that, Cheryl. They don't want this. You only gonna get this on Planet Pluto Pseudo. We keep trying to tell y'all, all these other jokers out here, they're not giving it to y'all. Straight up, 100% rough, rugged, and raw. You don't know nothing about that, JR. They too young. They don't know about that. Okay. So there you go, right there. And then last but not least, where it is right here. This one here is just a fool for thought. You have $1 million in your brain. You just have to figure out how to get it out. And so tonight, we're going to show you guys how to get some of the $1 million that's in your brain, how to get it out. Our 3 areas of interest to help bring this conversation into focus is going to be networking, motivation, and why your reputation is so important, because we're talking about maximizing your people power. And Cheryl, can you just, before JR tells us a little bit more about himself, what's up? The beauty industry, like, we don't really do this kind of stuff. So why is it important for us to maximize our people power before JR tells us who he is?
Because we need to maximize
Huh?
He said, well,
I love that question. So I'll wait my turn up.
No. You can go ahead. Take a stab at it. I already know what I want to say about it. Go ahead, JR.
Well, because the main reason why is because we're in a constant evolving state, right? And if you continue to stay the same, you're always going to get the same. So it's time to get around new people that's doing different things. The reason why I travel so much is because I'm in different rooms in different cities who have a different culture. And I'm taking bits and pieces from all these different cultures. And I'm like, okay, cool, bet. I'm bringing that sauce back home. So imagine if you're a stylist, if you're a barber, and you're able to go into different shops and you're able to, okay, so that's what they're doing. Then when you come back home, you're serving your clients at a higher level and they're like, oh, okay. So that's the reason why being in these different environments is so important. And learning new techniques, getting familiar with tech. You know what I'm saying? Like, keep playing. Keep playing. They're going to create a machine that's going to give you a perm in 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah.
He said, Cheryl, like, absolutely. See, Cheryl, she be me. I'm up here like, that'll never happen. Look at Cheryl. Absolutely. Y'all see why Cheryl and I, we just ebb and flow together, because I'm always like kind of stuck in the past. I see your comment about them yellow pages, and Cheryl is like, come on now, Kilolo. And JR is letting you know, what the young people say. You can either go right or get left. So JR is telling you guys right now, this is why you should maximize your people power by way of just traveling around, and you bring in different flavors. And when Cheryl talks about that in the history, is that's what we did culturally. We borrowed from each other. So what JR is talking about, Cheryl says this is nothing new. We have done this. We have a rich history of borrowing, traveling from place to place, and borrowing things and bringing them back home to make life a little bit better. So Cheryl, what ye say about why maximizing people power in our industry or as entrepreneurs? Because some people are not stylists, but why is this important to you?
One of the things that we do see when you don't do technology at all, right? When you don't do it at all, which means that the level that which you are still so comfortable, it becomes so much more harder because the mechanisms that you are so used to are no longer available. So you're actually making your life harder. So if you can just push yourself to 1 or 2 or 3 more steps and get into technology, you'll find that your life is so much easier, and you're saying, wow, why didn't I do this before? Because if you're in the salon and barbershop over 6 to 7 to 8, 9 hours, it is so important that you get a well-oiled machine technology behind you so you can be comfortable. Don't worry, make sure that you're out there, make sure, and technology is here for you to help you do those things. So it doesn't take
Wow.
a genius, and it just takes you to be open. And then when you work with someone like JR, he can take you to the rest of the steps and make everything work so much more succinctly. Go ahead, Natasha.
I was going to say, so JR, as you talk about who you are and what you do, let's use Kilolo for an example, right? What I see y'all Instagram is on fire. They waiting on your ass, Jay-Z, okay? JR, okay? What about people like me that's like older? And like Charlotte's just so open, but I feel very intimidated by technology, even though Cheryl just said lack of it is gonna contribute to your fear of people power. So I never even saw that until right now, that technology can help us with our people power. But as you talk about your business, how will it help people like me who's a lot afraid of technology, and how you can help people like me be more like Cheryl?
So my business model is a little bit different than everyone else's, because I have a clear understanding as to who I'm working with, right? So I would take a client like yourself and I would just walk you through it. And then also you have to, as entrepreneurs, we have to be able to see ourselves within the business and being successful at it for us to actually push forward, right? So I need to paint that picture for you and make sure that you're able to see it for yourself. So as I teach you these different techniques, you'll come up with your own techniques, your own sauce to add to it that's going to help you develop it. So it's like for yourself, I would just say, all right, cool. I would just take everything that you already do and just package it. You're a teacher, you're an entrepreneur, you're a trailblazer, you're already behind the chair. So if we take those 4 things by itself and we say, all right, cool, how can we package this? Well, maybe we build you a platform in which you can educate, you can sell your products, you can do all of the above. People can book you easier. They can have a consultation virtually as opposed to coming into the shop. And they may not realize that they don't necessarily have to be behind a computer just to interact with you, right? Times are changing. So think about it. You need to become that go-to person that when I come to Cleveland and knowing that I have natural hair, who can I go to, right? That's where the branding side comes in. That's where, yo, you know what? Let me make sure I'm ahead of the curve enough, not too far, but enough where my clientele won't get intimidated with the technology. So if you go to an older client, you say, hey, you know what, Miss Janice, put this app on your phone, and if you need some pointers on the touch-up between our next appointments, this is how you book with me. Then we could just do it virtually directly from your phone. People get intimidated because nobody shows us. So that's where I come in at. I say, yo, you know what? Not only can I build it, but I can also educate you on how to use it.
Woo! Come on, y'all, put your hands together now. Come on now. This chat is on motherfucking fire right down tonight. Hit that thumbs up button. I'm just so excited. I have never had someone say that to me to the point I'm ready to send him my money right now.
People, we ready to
You see what I'm saying? Yeah, right.
Cut them checks.
Hey, somebody, my light bill might not get paid, but I'm gonna pay JR tonight. You see what I'm saying? But that was very powerful. That was very powerful. Now, what I want you to do is now tell us what your business is, what you do. He said, just say I'm a Cleveland-based tech entrepreneur. You are so much more. So tell them exactly what is local, what you do. And you guys, please take good notes. You can watch this poster live, but I'm writing my notes down as this brother talks, because I see right now he came to drop the knowledge. And so here we go. Tell us what you do and all this good stuff. Here we go, guys.
So yes, I do a lot. I write plays. I do all of that stuff, right? However, in 24 and 25, I'm completely focused on app development. So you know just as well as I know.
Yeah, he switched cameras.
Oh, okay. Hold up, I did that.
There you go. So much better. You're muted, JR.
All right, there we go. 1 second. I got.
Oh, okay, unmute him now.
All right. Okay, he's gonna unmute himself.
All right, there we go.
Okay, go ahead. Now,
Beautiful,
here we go. Everybody, they said no problem. We waiting on you like we wait on a welfare check, baby, and that's waiting. Not that I don't listen about it. I'm just saying.
All right, so for 2024 and 25, I realized that, you know what, of the many things that I do, one thing that I have to get better at doing is staying focused on one thing and building that one thing up enough, right? So of the many things that you do, Ladosha, you know what, let me focus on letting people know that I do hair. like yes, I'm this amazing person that does these other many things, but at the core, I do hair. So you need to call me to get your hair done. So I build apps. You all need to call me to get more familiar with technology, right? But what makes me stand out as opposed to anyone else is I also educate. I don't just take on clients. Like, you have to earn the right to be my client. Because I feel like for us to work together, we have to have some type of relationship. And everybody ain't built to have a relationship with you. So that's just how I approach everything. And since I've started doing it that way, it's worked out a lot better. I don't have no headaches no more. And everyone knows exactly what to expect. So that's at the core of what I do. I help you not only enter the tech space, but I also educate you along the process. So yes, I'll build your website. Yes, I'll build your app. Yes, we'll go through a business plan and all of this stuff. However, you have to know how to do these things, or I'm just spitting words at you and it doesn't mean anything. It's like, oh, okay. So
you're very user friendly.
Yes.
That's definitely what I'm hearing. So he's very, very user friendly. And again, everybody on Instagram, we so appreciate you guys. We're going to ask you again to please make sure that you are going to text local at 33777 in case you guys have just joined us. This is our 67th episode. We're talking about maximizing networking through three areas of interest, which is going to be networking, leadership, and then of course motivation. And again, we are with J.R Fogle. He is the founder of a tech company called Local. If I'm saying that correctly, JR, let me know. And though the conversation is really geared towards barber and beauty professionals, as you can tell already, if business is your thing, then JR is the lane you want to be in. However, he says this, and there it is, you have to earn the right to be his client, because he is not messing around out here in these tech streets, okay? So with that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show a clip. We're going to get the conversation going. And don't forget, guys, drop your questions in the chat. And also, super duper shout out to our virtual de facto producer, Miss Esther. We got to put a round of applause for Miss Esther, because she's the reason why we have wonderful people like JR, on because it was one of our change agents who says you guys need to have people on this podcast to help deliver your message. So, Esther, we always appreciate you, and you can follow Esther over on Instagram as well as right here on YouTube. All right, that's Esther T. Jones. What's up, Monica? I see you. I see you. I see you. All right, so let's get it going. Here's our first area we're going to focus on right now. It's going to be about this right here. So when we talk about networking, like I'm just going to be honest, in our industry, networking is not something that we really do unless it's like an event, like a hair show, then we'll network there. But for barber and beauty pros, I'm just going to show this clip. And here's this person talking about, networking and what that means. So we're just going to start off. What's your take on it? And some people, like, I'm not a people person, the whole 9 yards. So here we go. Let's show this clip, and it's all about networking.
In business, it is very important to network. How to do that successfully? Rule number 1, start networking before you need it. With no ulterior motive, it is very important to go out there and just mingle with people, just to learn what the market is offering, what's out there, what's of interest. Never dismiss anyone as unimportant. If they don't have a title, it doesn't mean that they don't have the right relationships that could potentially connect you with someone that fits within your business platform. In networking, it's always very important to connect the dots. Once you meet the one person that could potentially give you a value into your business platform, and then all the other components within that relationship, in that networking process, will come in your favor.
All right, y'all know me. I like to go to TikTok and get all my content. So, JR, before I pick your brain, Cheryl, can you just kind of speak to, and I'm just going to be the antagonist. Y'all know Key Lolo. I like to get shit started, okay? So, here's the thing about networking that I just find really crappy. Number one is, like he said, you got to be motivated, like, before you go out. I personally find my problem with networking is that it seems so cliquey. Like if you're not in the clique, then nobody wants to talk to you. That's one. If you're not popular, so I don't do the networking for that reason. And then he talked about, again, which you and JR kind of spoke on, which is people power. But sometimes people snob you, So can you just speak to how are we to process is that a fear of the whole clicky thing, and then the people power when people just kind of like Ladosha, like what kind of name is Ladosha? I know it's ghetto, but it's my name. So help us out, and then we're gonna have JR take it away. And drop your questions in the chat about networking, reputation, and what was the other one? Leadership. All right, here we go. Cheryl, take it away. What about that?
I do find that networking is always going to be hard professionals. If you find any subsequent future prospect as competition, you can't network in a pool of competitors. If you see them as competitors, and so people who usually see other people as competitors, they're not going to network very well, because they're going to not bring their authentic self, and they're not going to expect other people to be authentic. And so, and it's very hard to learn because you're not present in the room. You're subconscious, or you are could be a little self-righteous and defensive. And so networking is not a pool of competition. Even if you're in the room with other hairstylists, they are there. And bringing your best self means that you're ready to self-improve. And that is the best, to me, the underbelly of being able to receive and absorb the room. And somebody, could possibly say something that could just make your, change your life. But if you go in there with a competitive spirit, you're going to cut yourself off from potential growth.
Wow. All right. Okay. JR, like, good answer. Good answer. Okay. JR, he's giving some great tips about getting ready to motivate. But when you have people like me, maybe a little apprehensive, but Cheryl pointing out something that maybe I'm just being defensive. And I hear that word technology just keeps kind of coming back in. But what about people who maybe they're just shy? Monica is in the chat saying that when you go to the grocery store and you're out in the club, you're kind of networking. But that's different because you like you my NIGGA, but when it's professional, I don't know, JR. So help us out with networking from that from your position, but from people who maybe are a little people shy. Perhaps maybe I am a tad bit defensive. I never thought of it that way. And then again, you're talking about your technology using local. And again, don't forget text 33777.
All right, so you ready to get controversial?
Uh-uh.
Come on, ladies. Come on, gentlemen. What's up, big bro Mo?
All right, so you've been to a few of my networking events, right?
Sir, yes, sir.
And the reason why I host my networking events the way that I host them is because I've traveled the country, I've been in different rooms, I see how and why people move. I disagree with the video. I believe that before you go to a networking event, you should have a reason why you're going, right? You should know your business. You should have, I don't care if you call it an elevator pitch. I don't care if you call it an escalator pitch. You should have some type of pitch ready for each and every person that you interact with, right? So, and always be intentional. You may not be the person to solve Cheryl's problem, but through networking within that room, you find somebody that can be compatible with Cheryl. You put those two together, now you're considered a dot connector. Now Cheryl sees you as an asset. Yo, wait a minute. I don't even know you, and you bringing me somebody that's fixing my pain point? Bet. Now Cheryl subconsciously feels obligated to do the same thing. That's how I network. I network by bringing you some money. It's like, okay, bet.
You brought me some money. I just want to testify.
So, because people like to surround themselves with people who make them money, period. As long as you know somebody else, like, you know what? Every time that guy comes around, I make a couple of dollars, so let's keep this guy around. But if you don't know that that's your superpower, if you don't realize that that's a thing, you won't do it, or you won't do it consistently. But if you show up as this person consistently, Ladosha, you going into a networking event, that's a kid in the playground.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because everybody got hair.
I like the way you just, he makes it so obvious. You know what I'm saying, guys? Now remember, Barber and Beauty Pros, he's dropping the knowledge for us. So sometimes we're making things a little bit difficult, but he's giving us, you know what, guys? It's very obvious. Monica's in the chat saying it's all about knowing your audience. But again, and we're not saying that every barber, every cosmetologist, every nail tech, every makeup person or student do not have networking skills. We're talking to the people who are maybe a little bit older like me. I look like I got it, but I don't always have it. You know what I'm saying? Okay.
Give me 3 minutes. I'm about to give y'all some sauce. For everybody that's shy about networking, right? I'm about to give you some tips and tricks, some things to do before you even get to the event. All right. Hey, from the first time you see that flyer, I want y'all to do something. Wherever you see it at, like it and share it. Okay. Like it and share it. But then also look and see who else liked it. Once you start noticing and you start seeing who else liked it, click on their profiles, right? Okay, cool. You can shoot them a DM. Hey, I saw that you liked this flyer. Are you going to that event? That'll strike up a little bit of conversation. That'll get you a friend in the room before you even get in the room. Mm-hmm. On Eventbrite, especially like high-end corporate events, they'll have a list of the host committee, right? Check out, follow everybody that's on the host committee, right? Find a commonality that you guys have. And if you ain't got one, make one up. Mm-hmm. Hey, you know what? I saw on your Facebook profile, I saw on your LinkedIn profile, your son plays soccer. My son plays soccer. Aren't you tired of going to them games and sitting out in the grass?
How do you avoid getting mosquito bites? Figure out some type of commonality to strike up a conversation, right? You can practice this before you even get in the room. So if you knock out just those couple things, by the time you get to the event, you're going in with a level of confidence that you didn't have before because you're prepared. Kobe Bryant has this quote, and he says the reason why he doesn't get nervous in the game is because he's prepared. The only time that you get nervous when you get in an environment is because you're not prepared to be in that environment.
Are you serious? How many people agree with him? I always think I'm prepared, but I be passing gas and farting. I don't care what y'all say. I'm keeping it 100. I will get my help tonight. I'm gonna get my JR's first. And I mean, how many people agree that the nervousness to all of this is because you're not prepared? Yay or nay? In the meantime, I'm going to give you a big round of applause and for this type of information. Also, do you agree with JR? VK is in the chat saying, Cheryl, everybody instructions on what they need to do right now if you want to help change the narrative about maximizing your networking, people power, and all that good stuff. Show them what they need.
Express it.
Yeah. What's up, Sir Pooh? How you doing? So let's see how many people agree with JR. Well, it's a resounding yes that they actually agree. Okay, all right, JR. Of course, he's like, this is what I do. I ain't new to this. I'm true to this. Stay ready. Ain't gotta get ready. So you're saying that this is part of what you could be doing if you're just shy and you're a little bit okay. All right. So let's take it on over to our next topic here. So we got a little networking. He gave it to y'all again, straight off. What 100% rough, rugged, and raw. Now we're going to be talking about motivation. All right. So this one here is he said you got, and you talked about like semantics, no matter how you say it. So sometimes you got to host things and do things. So here's an example of what he's saying you could do. You got to get motivated to get out there and let yourself be known. So here's an example of how to do a networking event.
Here's my best piece of advice. You can host the best networking event when you don't call it a networking event. That's what the 2-hour cocktail party is about. You have to invite people one-to-one with DMs through Messenger or through text or through email. You're gonna send personalized messages like that because if you just broadcast, that's the spray and pray model, nobody's gonna come to it, especially on Facebook.
So you got to get motivated, guys. So he's saying, this is an example. You can just kind of do some wordplay, but you got to get yourself motivated to get and connect with people. So JR is saying no. So again, motivating and trying to connect with people. JR, take it, man. Hey, Cheryl,
Take it away, baby.
He killing my love.
All right, so I disagree once again, right? Because once you find your tribe, that's your tribe, right? I'm cool with having 20 people who I know will show up in any environment and shut it down, right? I don't need 200. We sometimes can get caught up in the numbers. Theoretically, what he's saying is right, okay? However, someone just put in the chat about being an introvert. What I say to those people is go to somebody else's events. Right? You go to those events, you find a couple people that you're like-minded with, right? You take those couple people, those 5 people, 4 people, right? Y'all meet up for coffee one day outside of the huge event. Now y'all can plan to go to the next event together. Y'all 4 people turn into 8 people because everybody's objective is to find one person. Right?
Right.
That's how you build your tribe and your community. And also understanding your market and who you are. I'm not for everybody. I don't want to be around everybody. I don't want to have a conversation with everybody. But when I find my select tribe of people who I enjoy conversing with, who I enjoy building with, because we're on the same trajectory in life, it becomes easier because now I know when I see Ladosha at the event, she already know the play. Yo, send somebody my way. I'm gonna send somebody your way.
Right.
That's
right.
it's all strategy, people. You can't. And let me say this: entrepreneurship, being a barber, a stylist, ain't for everybody. Sometimes you need to go work at the best cuts where it's just cookie cutter. Go
Right.
do that.
Right.
But if you
Okay.
call yourself a boss, if you call yourself one of them ones, then you have to show up. You have to do the work. This is all part of the work. It's all part of the mindset. Ain't nobody stopping you from talking to nobody. You just gotta know what to say.
All right.
And
Okay.
how do you figure out what to say? You practice it.
Wow. Now, are you now when you say practice it, but I'm gonna back up a little bit when you say people are into these numbers, So Cheryl, you host nice, you do a lot of stuff. I see you on social media doing the same thing. What do you say to entrepreneurs who are like, well, only 5 people showed up, or only 100 people? Because numbers do mean a lot in our industry. I work with the person. Okay, I was there, and if you came to visit him at his salon and it wasn't packed and busy, he would be very angry that you showed up unannounced. He only wanted you to see this salon very busy. And I know people who work in the hair salon and they purposefully work slow so that they can look like they have a lot of people. So why is it in our industry? And JR said that numbers don't mean a lot. But I'm just telling y'all what I see. So I'm just saying, I'm telling the truth about our industry. Cheryl, why do numbers matter of how many people not only show up in our salon and our chairs, but to our events, and we feel like it's such a failure? Can you speak to that? As JR just said, it really that's not something we should be focused on, but in our industry we really do.
Well, because we're client base is how we make our money. The more the merrier, and it's per head, it's per capita. In that
I can't wait to get in on this. I'm sorry.
Right. And that mindset is just the way they think in other subsequent portions of their life, right? And so the problem is that is just one facet of your business personality or your business persona per se. The problem is that there is, remember in the 80s, there was this whole thing about being a socialite. There's an art to being a socialite. And so when you really study the art of even the 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, and 80s, you watch these women. Socialite and then the most socialites went actually in the 90s. They went to be PR specialists. And I do think, JR, we don't fundamentally understand the difference between advertising, marketing, publicity, promotion, and public relations. We think they're all the same thing. And so we're just introduced to this.
So you're saying that the numbers that we're looking for, our expectations are
It just
too
does.
high?
Well, no, it's just that we don't know how to apply. Yeah, we can apply that more is better to a clientele because it's connected to revenue and it's connected to expenses.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
What's your definition of more?
Not my definition that it's important. It's just the definition of what people usually connect to. More clients, they think it's more revenue, right?
Right.
So when that is everything they subsequently do every place else, they don't understand that when by the time they get into sit in front of a JR, he's gonna probably reel that back and allow them to see it differently.
Right, because and I see exactly. So here's what would happen, JR, when we talk about time, like in our industry and seeing like numbers. Okay,
oh, I got you. I'm ready. I'm just waiting on my chat.
Right, yeah. So here you go. So just jump right on that. So in our industry, when we, it's something about people want to like, how many people do you have? I get asked that question all the time. That's number one.
Mhm.
Number two, the other question that comes up when it talks about how many people, it kind of likens it to I guess it's like if you walk into a salon and it's not busy, then you're going out of business. People have come in and say, "Why y'all ain't got no people in here?" So, and come on, cosmetologists and barbers, this is the time to get the help. So, JR is going to help us out. And again, Monica, you're right. If you're not in the industry, it's okay. Just get your questions answered. But that does come up. Those two dynamics are very real in our industry. One, if you don't look busy, and then number two, how many people? I get asked that all the time. I'm like, what? I don't.
Or how many people
So-
that's in front of them, or what do they mean by?
Like they are like Ladosha, how many people do you do a day, or how many
Oh,
people do you have, or how many people if you have an event, how many people? And JR just started off by saying that numbers don't matter.
So let me clarify my statement, and
Okay.
then I'm going to blow this thing out the water. So I had a conversation with my mentor once, right? And I was trying to explain. I'm like, man, I need to make $10,000. You know, this is the real conversation. I'm like, yo, like, he was like, all right, cool. What product are you selling? So I told him the product, and he was like, all right, how much is it? I'm like, all right, it's $100. He's like, all right, so you need to find 100 clients that want this thing, right? I'm like, yeah, basically. He was like, well, how about you add more meat to the product, charge $1,000, and then that way you only got to find 10 people. It's the same thing with stylists, barbers, and things like that. In my opinion, right?
Okay,
In my opinion, this is how I see it. I see it as such. If I'm a barber or a stylist and I have a salon, I don't care if I have one client in there, right? If I have that one client, you don't know how much they're paying for their service. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that their service is at a tier in which it demands a certain dollar amount. My issue with a lot of barbers in 24 and 25 is because in 23, in 22 and 23, things were going viral. They're like, oh, okay, $50 haircuts, $100 haircuts, and all this stuff. But you're giving a $10 haircut service. So no, you're not worth it. And I'm very blunt, and I ain't here to waste nobody's time, right? As a barber, as a stylist, whatever you want to, call yourself, you have to make sure you're worth the dollar amount that you're demanding, right? Because if people aren't telling you that, and you're just going by social media numbers, you're going to be out of business. Then having that one client is going to be make or break for you. But imagine only being able to have 5 clients a week. But you know what? I'm paid because my clients pay top tier. Why? Because every time they come in, they get a hot towel, they get a fresh razor, they get their favorite drink, they get all these, they get service, right? With a lot of stylists, that's the one part they don't teach in barber school or barber college is service. How that person feels when they get out that chair depends, will really determine if they come back to you. I don't care what barbershop I go to because I get a body. But when I find that one person that be like, yo, like, hold on, bro, we gonna slow down. You got a minute? Because people's time matters. I'm gonna give you a service. That's when you get a $50 tip, because you know what? Yo, brother, I need to make sure I'm locked in.
Yeah, now this is very interesting because we showed a clip last week, Monday, where some barbers, well, you know what happened to Waverly here in Cleveland and another barber. So barbers are kind of like, in a little bit, they've been under attack, by the public themselves. And then Cheryl kind of add a little bit more to what he's talking about and giving value to your business by way of, he's saying that service is what's going to give you value, because we're really big on how many people. I got 50 clients. I have this. When I did this event, I want to do that. So add a little bit more to the people who needs to know about why service is going to give that value. Instead of trying to get 100 haircuts for 20, JR is saying do a quality service and charge what you're worth. So add a little bit more meat to that for us. And we're going to talk a little bit more about reputation.
I will say, we had talked about this, the Afro Hair Science Summit, remember? And I think we also talked about it in So You Think You Can Do Hair sometimes in our morning podcast on Monday. I think they intellectually understand it. I think they're conditioned to do it, to find it difficult, or they're a little closed, they're a little frozen, right? They're just because, success is in muscle memory.
And our industry, I'm sorry for cutting you off, guys, but we still have to keep in mind the barber and beauty industry is such a cash cow. And so people want to get that cash real fast. And what you guys are talking about, I can't speak, but there are a lot of cosmetologists and barbers in the chat. So sure, maybe it's like, I could do what you and JR is saying, but I got to get the bag. That's what they tell us. You heard them. That's the new word. I got to get the bag.
Well, you can. I don't think that JR is saying that don't. And I don't think that I'm saying don't.
Okay.
It is the fundamental of relearning how to procure it and to keep it consistent. Because at the problem, not the fact, JR, that they're not learning it in beauty school, business is not taught in. So I would agree. The problem is that they have beauty school habits. And you have to understand, just walk in one. When you walk in one, they go from classroom to a floor. Sir, their muscle memory and their habit, their financial relationship with clients is how many. That's how they're trained. And so that dovetails and it goes into the professional world. And they think that, and let me just say this, in their defense, it is salon and barbershops, JR, are revenue based. That's how they pay their bills. So I can understand that. However, the key here is that out of a salon and create a beauty business. And I think that those two things are fundamentally different. And that is where value, that word, becomes so much more important, because value is going to handcuff you eventually from the chair. And then you're going to start selling subsequent products. And then you're going to have a beauty business instead of something connected to your hands, which is, it is labor. That's part of the labor dollar, but your business and all the other subsequent things are your soft, or what they call it. Robert Kiyosaki used to always call it 100% money, right? And so it's training, and so we need to talk about it so we can map it out, and so they can get out of, because I believe if you focus on the good habits, you offset the bad ones, and so they just need it on a continuum.
Right. So, and now another thing, JR, if you could just kind of elaborate a little bit more when you talk about, understanding your market, because now before we move into reputation, you have given us a wonderful earful about people power, networking, and now you're going into actually like semantics and, getting motivated. But part of that motivation is, like knowing your value, and how do you recommend, because you got technology that can now add more value to it. So speak a little bit more to that of how we as professionals in our industry can give ourselves value. And if you can kind of tie it in with what you're doing to how we can give our business, our service value, and how we could use it with yours as well.
All right. So it's focusing on what really matters and remembering who you are and what you do, right? At the core, we're both service providers. I provide service on a technology side. You provide service through cosmetology, right?
Right.
When you leave out of my office, you're supposed to feel like I can go and make $1 million. When you get out of your chair, I feel like I deserve that $1 million, right? If at any time that perspective changes, something needs to change. Period.
Wow.
If I get out of your chair and I feel like the same as when I got in your chair, you didn't do your job.
Are you serious? How many people agree with that? How many people agree? You making me. I'm about to pass. Let me take a shot of my drink. Hold on.
The reason
got
why
a little deep right there. Now that's a little Cheryl.
Well, because we're in the culture and a society where accountability, people get offended when you hold them accountable, right? And as service providers, I'm accountable to my client. If my client ain't satisfied, yo, wait a minute, hold on 1 second. What can I do to be better? The reason why you have, I used to hate it. You remember when going live and all that stuff first came out, and then you'll see people, oh, I'm in here and they did this. It's because most of the time people don't feel heard, right? As service providers, it's my job to do this thing. If I don't do it to the highest standard and to the best of my ability, then please take a minute and educate me. Whatever it takes, I need to make that right. Why? Because you felt cheated. You felt like I didn't do something that I told you I was going to do at the highest of my ability. Period.
Wow.
Now, with that being said, you can add more value to the service by honestly providing a higher service. You can do the same thing that you do, but just look at it a little bit different. If I say, all right, cool. I know for a fact Jay comes to me every other week, right? He comes every Wednesday. So how about instead of me saying, all right, and gambling that Jay may not come, we lock Jay in as a client. Cool, Jay, how about this, man? You pay $40 per cut every time you come in.
Okay,
You sign up for my subscription service through my app or website or whatever. We're going to drop that down to $35 for you, okay? And we even throw in, once a month you get a free wash. Cool? All right, cool, whatever. I get to save some money. What that does for you, it locks in a specific amount of money that you already know that you're going to get a month for this one particular client, right? Whether I come or not, you're getting paid, okay? Period. It can be part of your terms and conditions. Yo, these cuts don't roll over, brother. So if you miss it, as long as you within that same month, you good.
Right,
but
right, okay. Right, we following you. Following you.
So now, that's one thing, right? But hey, you know what, Jay? I noticed that every time I use the hot towel, every time I use a razor on you, your skin gets irritated. So how about we do this? I won't use the hot towel, but what I'll do is I have this new technique that I use. You're making shit up. I got this new technique that I use that's going to do this and this and this, but it's going to give you a hot towel feel and all of that stuff. As you know, the hot towel service is extra, but instead of it being $20 extra, we're going to make it $15 extra, okay? So that puts you at $50 per visit, all right? What have I done? I went from 35 to 50, just that quick, right? I ain't did nothing different.
I like the way he did that now. Come on, y'all. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on.
So Jay, this is what else I'm going to do for you. Because you've been such a loyal client, what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you some coupons that, if you really enjoy the service that I provide, you can pass these coupons off to somebody else where they'll get a free additional service as long as they sign up as one of my clients too. Cool, wow. Right? So now you're incentivizing other people to come in. So just by this one person enjoying that thing that you do so well, you're able to secure, you're locking in recurring revenue. You're incentivizing them to tell more people, for every person that you send in, you get $5 off of your service. All they got to do is bring this card back or use your discount code whenever they sign up, right? That might not be for everybody, but for those.
We got you. It kind of goes back to what Cheryl said, procuring and keeping, because in our industry, it's three things. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong, and sure you can correct me if I'm wrong. It's retention, it's retail, and it's referrals. And Cheryl is saying it is essential. It's gonna and what JR is talking about is that motivation, right? And that procuring and keeping that client. So I think you guys are dropping some serious knowledge. Please don't forget to hit the like, the thumbs up, and share. Don't forget to subscribe. Our last talking point before we wrap this up is going to be about reputation. And Cheryl, I just wanted to say,
Yes, ma'am.
he made a statement that people get offended when we are corrected. And Cheryl talks about that a lot because we're told on this is why we have Planet Pluto Pseudo, because Cheryl talks about it's like an unspoken thing that we're not to do that. And you're like the second person. Cheryl's the first person to say, no, I'm serious. Cheryl talks about that all the time. So before we go into our last talking point, which is about reputation, Cheryl, go a little bit more into JR's point about, people getting offended and why it's important that we do correct. Because like JR says, people have to tell you, Dosha, you was late 5 times. This is your third time being off schedule. So talk about that a little, because we think that's kind of okay because you're my regular. And you made me nervous when you said if every time you leave that chair, you're not feeling some kind of whoop to whoop, then I'm not doing my job as a cosmetologist. But I just kind of feel like, you my every Thursday. And JR said, don't get too comfortable, Key Lolo. Take it away, Cheryl.
I was just thinking that. Don't get too comfortable.
I got some changing to do already. I'm talking about myself, y'all. I ain't talking about y'all.
Right. Well, this is a quote by Malcolm X, who said the greatest disrespect is someone's disrespect of their time. And, but the root of it is that we really have not, we're not relationing. I don't think that I've not ever apologized with anyone that I see as important to me. And I know clients and people bring us money, right? That's why the show is about networking. But sometimes as professionals, we don't see the clients as people. We see them as bringing us money. And so that really gets those lines get blurred. And let's just say if we're late, do you know that most people will probably not mind you being late if they really actually know you had a problem? So we're not relationing. And I remember because I lived in my salon in New York City, so I would obviously not be late, but they knew if I was, it was a real serious, but the point is that just the talking and just the communication. And I think that sometimes, we talk about when you first even come in the salon, it's the immediate that I get at the Reverend's design team. I get a hello, I get an acknowledgement, even if I'm late or you're late, just the acknowledgement of my coworkers. If I'm not there, it is, so about breaking habit. We bring habits into that we probably are very subconscious about. We probably don't know that we have these habits that beauty school has allowed us to keep for so long. And I will say, great marketing on a bad brand makes a bad brand even worse.
All right, you guys. All right, come on, that's a good one. All right, guys. So
we really need some fundamentals to kink out before we even get to a JR.
All right. Well, you guys keep rocking it out. JR, I can see already. We're definitely going to have you back. So we're going to wrap this up as we talk about reputation and leadership. I think a lot of times in our industry, the reputation, because, when you're a hairstylist, like, how you go somewhere, it's kind of like you're a bootleg, like celebrity, like I could go somewhere like a grocery store and they'll be like, oh my God, it's Ladosha, you know what I'm saying? And you just kind of, you gotta get a little puffy chest, you know what I'm saying? I'm just talking about me. I ain't talking about y'all, Sir Pooh. Sir Pooh, I am not talking about you, okay? And so that kind of like gets into your your head a little bit. And I think we forget about reputation and our other responsibility as entrepreneurs and stylists, of course, is reputation and leadership. So here's a gentleman who's going to give his advice on this very topic. And then JR, I want you to talk about it as well, because I think as business owners and people who work behind the chair, we kind of forget about reputation and leadership and why it's so valuable, especially when you're talking about people power, networking, and of course being motivated. So here we go.
5 things I learned about being an effective leader. 1, I have to be seen as upholding the same standards and expectations that I have of others. 2, I have to be intentional in showing my team members that I care about them just as much as I care about the work getting done. 3, it is my responsibility to keep the lanes clear of certain obstructions so that they can effectively do their jobs. 4, being a mentor and an advocate for your team members will strengthen the reputation and the overall effectiveness of your team. And 5, you should be able to leave and return from a 2-week vacation with everything running smoothly and no major disruptions.
All right. Now what stuck out to me when I watched this again is because you said it at the beginning and you talked about the power of intention, which I think sometimes we think that's a very hubris or very, it's just not, it just seems so
Very.
so crafty. But you were very upfront that you have to be intentional. So as you talked with us and giving your take on leadership and then of course reputation, can you just squeeze in a little bit more about intentional? Because I'm just going to tell my business a little bit. I was dumped once because I talked about my intentionalism in my career, and the guy thought that was such a crafty, nasty, mean little thing. I was very intentional, and that's the second time in my life that I've heard somebody say that. So as you talk about leadership and reputation, squeeze in a little bit more about intentional, being very intentional.
So God has a cool way of getting people out of your way, right?
Cheryl,
because sometimes it's like, like if I see that you're moving and I know I ain't going nowhere, that becomes intimidating. Most men can't handle that. So it's
I don't have to feel bad anymore. Thank you,
Cheryl. Let me just go ahead and get out your way, right?
Okay.
But leadership. So everybody can be a leader. Everybody's a leader. But what kind of leader are you? Are you a good leader or a bad leader? Right? What determines what's a good leader and a bad leader? Everything is based upon, your own definition of good and bad. However, what qualities would you like to see your business and brand represent are the same qualities you have to show up and represent. And I believe that's what the gentleman was saying. It's like, like if I want, if I want my staff to be on time, if I want my staff to be professional, if I want my staff to perform at a certain caliber, then I have to do that, right? When you look at all of the greats, they work so much harder at a higher tier than everyone else on the team. But they're the leaders. That's the beacon. That's who I want to be like. I want to be like Mike. I want to be like LeBron. I want to be like Kobe, right? But when you notice one thing about them, they all work here. They block out everything else and they show up and they do the job. Why? Because if they ever falter at doing the one thing that they're supposed to do, people will point and be like, well, Kobe didn't do it, so why should I? Right? So as a business owner, we're held to the same standard. It's like, if I'm telling people, I need you to be on time then, but I'm always showing up 10, 15 minutes late. Dude, I was 5 minutes late. I didn't even know I was late.
I'm the owner. This is my salon. This is my barbershop. If you don't like it, then cool. Get your own business, JR. I mean, I own this. Don't hate, congratulate.
Hey, you know what I would do then? I would open up my own salon right next door to yours, and I would make sure I'm there 10 minutes before you open.
Look at Cheryl. Cheryl. How
Hey,
many
look, she
people?
late, man.
What
Come
do you
on, I got you.
say to? I'm the owner. I can do that. I am the owner. Let's see, you guys. What do you guys have to say to that? That's very powerful. I'm sorry, JR. I was just being messy. Y'all know me. I'm antagonizing.
No, it's just the reality that we have to remember that, I don't know how religious people are, but God gave you this, right? You sat down one night, you prayed, like for times like this. I prayed for times like this, right? And you pray for the salon, you pray for the business, you pray for a client. And you go disrespect God by showing up late for that client. You go disrespect God by not being the best
Because
version of
that's
yourself for
funny
that.
you would say that, because I never understood, like, people pray to your point, to have a salon or be a hairstylist, and you want money, right? And you show, that's like saying, God, could you give me $1 million, like $50 a day, and you show up late or whatever the amount is. I just don't understand the whole tardiness thing. But our industry is notorious. Cheryl, do you remember the skit on In Living Color when the lady would go to the hair salon, a young lady, and she came out and she was a grandmother? Do you remember that skit? So talk a little bit about that, Cheryl, and that's a bad reputation for the barber and beauty industry, but people, the tardiness, the punctuality, and then we're gonna have JR wrap that up. So again, punctuality, tardiness, and because we kind of feel like what's his name? Vidal Sassoon wrote a book called Madam, Sorry I Kept You Waiting. That's how snobbish our industry is.
Yeah. And let me say this. Obviously, we are going to have to, just with all of the different moving parts of our sectors and our industry, the economy of what's going on inside our industry and how things are shifting. And so we're going to have to make some adjustments. But I would rather y'all pray to break some of them bad habits before you pray for the other subsequent things that will be following, because it will be those particular habits that will put us in a chokehold. And they are going to have to, and then hopefully someone is brave enough, loves us enough, as Michael Gerber would say, who's concerned and considerate, but honest with us to make sure that we can, that helps us self-correct, and modify some of our business behaviors. And just and as you and we always say, email us, right? And try to keep the professionalism going, because Dell Computer has 400,000 followers, but Michael Dell has 2.5 million. People connect with people. And if you are in any, obviously, especially in this business, if you're in a leadership position, you lead through the power of serving. You're actually a servant leader. And so, right. And so that reputation of being kind, being on time, and being there to greet. Everyone wants, even men talk about, when I come home, I want somebody to meet me, or mothers want, the dog that's there to greet you, or whatever the case may be. There is power in being greeted. And so I would just, in just my last little part, once again, the reputation is allowing us to, we don't think about reputation when we're in beauty school. We just don't get that kind of buffer and polishing in any level. And you and I spoke about that there should be some middle education process.
Well, Well, we hope you guys are getting the gist of it, whether you are a cosmetologist, a barber, nail tech, or esthetician or not. JR is giving up the grapes. He and Cheryl about again. We're talking about people power by way of networking, motivation, and then of course reputation. So, JR, here it is. This is the snobbery in our industry. Fidel Sassoon, may he rest in power, rest in peace,
Yes.
was one of the most oh my gosh, the most sought after what's that word, coveted, renowned hairstylist, but he kept people waiting. And so you and Cheryl are saying this is a no.
Yeah.
But now
Absolutely.
you see why our industry, we think that waiting is really, if I, the longer I take, or if I, stop and start talking with my hands, and you guys are like, no. But Vidal Sassoon wrote a whole book about why your ass gonna wait for him.
And you know what? That might be how he defines his personal brand, right?
Okay.
My thing is, like, I don't come from that culture, so I can't really speak on that. I know how valuable my time is. I'll tell you guys a quick story. I have a cousin who owns a barber shop, right? But I only go to him if I know I don't have nothing else to do. Reason why is because A, he does an amazing job. However, he takes forever. Right? Right? The average barber could probably knock out 2 haircuts on average per hour if back to back to back, right? He getting like, you get his haircut's about an hour, 10 minutes maybe.
That's
But
long.
when you get out that chair, the difference is when you get out that chair, you feel like, you can walk up on Hallie like, hey, hold on, Miss Barry, it's me. Right? So that's the difference between the personal brands. And he keeps a line. So depending on how you really structure your brand and your service depends on how you will move forward, right? I don't want my brand to be associated with, like, I got to tie up your whole day. I got things to
Mm.
do, family or not. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we've had knockdown, drag out, like, come on outside. Like, because I'm like, I'm late for this wedding, bro. Like, and you know what I'm saying? Like, but I know you knew that before you came, right? So I preface that by saying, what is your brand identity before, you know what I'm saying? Like, determine what you want that to be. If you want your brand identity to be tied with, oh, okay, he does a great job, but he's always late, right? You take that into corporate America, that same trait, and you're going to get a write-up. Then you're going to get a verbal. First, you're going to get a verbal warning. Then you're going to get a write-up. Then you're out the door, right?
But if you're a hairstylist, you can write a book called Madam, Sorry I Kept You Waiting.
Unless it's part of your personal brand. Now, the difference between that waiting and I'm going to paint this picture for you, right?
Ooh, where did he go?
Oh,
Oh,
he's gonna come back. Hold on, guys. He's gonna come back in. I think he just
did he get a phone?
anywho, are you guys enjoying this? Do not forget to hit the thumbs up button. A couple of shout outs again. Esther, thank you so very much. We love what you're doing for us in the chat. Sir Pooh, you know this conversation all too well. You're a veteran in the industry, so you know it better than anybody. Lawana, we appreciate you. Yate, I know you feeling it. Me and Yate, we on that kryptonite. You know what I'm saying? So we feeling it big time. Also, everybody over on Instagram. All right, we appreciate you guys so very much. Again, don't forget to text JR at 33777, and you're going to get some assistance if you need to, add some technology to your spice here. So let's see. He says he's in here. Let's try it again. We don't see you. Let me tell him he's in the back chat.
Low. Where was it? Low.
What'd you say? Yeah, local 3377. So he was trying to get him.
Yeah.
Get back here.
Maybe
Let me
his
tell him.
phone died or something.
Oh, yeah.
That was weird because he's on his phone, right?
Yeah.
We're still live.
I told him we're still live. We're still live. We're still live.
The networking part. Was there any questions in the chat about the networking and introvert and being introvert or
We do see Yate is talking about leadership being very important.
No,
Okay,
I'm
here we
asking.
go.
Oh, okay. All
Nope,
right.
nope, the other
There we
cam.
go.
Nope.
All right.
There, where you at? Okay, we don't see you, but we hear you. Go ahead.
No, I see him.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's my bootleg phone. Okay, go ahead.
All right, cool. All right, so what I was going to say is, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. What I was going to say is there's a difference between if I'm waiting, but as I wait, I'm getting a champagne, I'm getting, some hors d'oeuvres or something like that. And that waiting by itself is an experience. Now we like, oh, okay, cool. I don't mind waiting. But if I'm just waiting and all I got to do is read this magazine that's been thumbed through 30 million times, then,
Or your
then we
phone.
gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
So that's the difference between how you interpret your brand and how you want to handle your brand. If you're looking at it and you're saying, oh, okay, cool. I want my brand to be associated with, I want to give the best quality service. I want everyone to get out of my chair feeling like $1 million. Like Ladosha does my color the same way she does her own color, right? So I know that when I come here, I'm going to get this. That's the main thing that a lot of Black business owners suffer with. You have to have consistency within the service as you go. Hey, I just want to have this 5-star. If you're giving me this 5-star service today, next time I come, I'm expecting the same level of service, right? Just give me that. That's all. I'm not asking for nothing more than what you already gave me. But if you could just give me that, then we're good. Cool. But there's so many people who just can't do that. And it's like, or do that consistent. I don't care. Honestly, I don't care if you're having a bad day. That's not my problem.
Right.
I'm here to get my hair done, right?
Okay.
I'm here for whatever service because you don't know that I had a bad day.
Correct.
So
correct.
I don't need you to pour fuel on my bad day. I need you to pour water on my bad day. Help me feel better. I need you to really, I'm here because I need to feel better about whatever life has thrown my way.
Mm-hmm.
So don't put your stuff on me. You know what I'm saying? Help me feel better. Because that's what's going to keep going back.
You got some church up in here. They are like, yes, JR, yes, preach, brother, preach. So you're saying is that when it comes to leadership and it comes to reputation, you're saying, you're still saying continue to focus on your service and your client is at the center of that motivation. And when it comes to your reputation. You're just, you're client centric instead of stylist. I'm stealing that from Cheryl because some people are, they're centered on themselves as a professional, but you're saying come out of that ethos, and this is what you're recommending when it comes to leadership and reputation. Is let's not forget about the people who are sitting in our spaces and why. And if you have the air, or if that, like you said, if that's your model of like a Vidal Sassoon, what Cheryl was, she worked up under him, so she knows the whole matter. I'm sorry I kept you waiting, but you're right. You definitely got all the champagne and accoutrements, but not just to do it on GP. All right. Is there anything else? Go ahead.
Shit, hold on 1 second. I ain't done yet. So
yeah.
Real quick.
No,
Ladosha, I love them cookies, right?
Yes.
No, so hold on, wait. Listen, them cookies, I don't know where you got them from, but them cookies was fire.
Miss
Those
Pat.
cookies by themselves, but think about it. Those cookies by themselves could be a $10 markup for your service.
Hold on, Sir Pooh. Don't y'all be trying to steal my ideas, Esther. I'm taking this down.
So think about it like this, right? Let's say if you do get backed up, you know what? Part of our service is, since you're already part of our memberships, you get 2 free cookies per visit. It ain't nothing to you. Nothing. A coffee. 2 cookies and a coffee as you wait, right? What is that costing you? However, aesthetically, it's all mental. Man, every time I go in there, bro, I eat my cookies while I wait. I don't mind waiting. I hope I gotta wait, because if you don't wait, you don't get the cookies.
Okay, Sir Pooh, you taking these notes? Come on now, y'all. Y'all better write this stuff down because I am.
So, but it's really a matter of perspective. And that's everything that we said tonight, especially in the service business, is really about perspective. Your definition of good is a matter of perspective. Your definition of bad is a matter of perspective. However, what I will caution people is understand that everybody has a commonality when it comes to good and bad. So just make sure that whatever you want your reputation to be is in line with whatever you want your standard to be. I want my reputation to be great, so I must perform at a great level every time for every client, right? Period. We're in the service industry. The thing that's standing between you, me, and this is me. You want my money. In order for me to give you this, you got to treat me right. If you don't treat me right, you ain't gonna get none of this. Period. And you can equate that into relationships too.
Right.
So twist it and turn it how you want to, but either way, if you don't treat me good, you ain't gonna get none of this.
All right. Let me give you a round of applause for that because everybody is in the chat. Like this brother is on fire. And so appreciating the guidance and the leadership of J.R. Fogle. Again, don't forget if you just, coming on through and if you're watching this post live, it is never too late to text local at 33777 and we are with J.R. Fogle. And just before we wrap this up, Cheryl, I just want to let everybody know if we could I want to congratulate because I told you guys that I stalk his page and everything, right? So I was on Facebook about a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago, and I saw this. Here you go, Cheryl. Check this out, guys. Bam! J.R. Fogle of Local Tech and Marketing wins Jumpstart's Entrepreneur Showcase for his innovative startup 123 App Z. Can we give him a big? This is what he's talking about, guys. Follow your passion. This is absolutely he got some moolah, guys. This is what it's all about.
That's what I'm talking about.
So it is not just me who recognizes what this gentleman is doing. It is not just I who have benefited, and I'm here to tell you, I have benefited. I continue to benefit from his services. What you're seeing on this podcast is what you're going to get in real life should you decide and choose to do some business with him, which I highly recommend.
Yes,
Cheryl and I, we definitely, we're going to get some of this JR.
We're going to be
on that JR, okay? Get some of that local. So JR, do you want to close us out with any quote or a book to read or whatever you would like to share with us? And of course, guys, he is on he's on LinkedIn, he's on Facebook, and yes, he is on Instagram. You could just type in local and all the cool stuff will definitely pop up with JR. Anything you want to close us out with on this topic or share with us about your business?
Hey, thank you for that. I appreciate it. And for any entrepreneur out there, hopefully you leave this conversation understanding that if you're a service-based entrepreneur, remember there's one thing that's standing in between you and what you really want, right? And that's the customer. Treat that customer with the respect that customer deserves. And you will have no problem keeping this full as long as you can provide that service. And, that's just really the reality. Don't get intimidated by technology. Get around somebody that can actually teach you how to use it and monetize it. That's really like the one thing that's going to stop us. If y'all worried about Trump, and Trump ain't the problem, you the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, we have no more excuses. It's time for us to get out of our own way, educate ourselves, get around people who are making moves, get around people who may not be the quote unquote cool kids or whatever y'all want to call them. Get around the people that's actually getting the things done and moving the needles and who have no problem teaching you the game. Because if you don't have nobody to show you the way, then you just moving blindly. we don't wasted too much time doing that, trying to figure it out on our own. And listen, we ain't got time for that. So if you want to work, if you want to, you know, if you need an app, if you need a website, if you need, you know, anything along those lines, feel free to reach out.
Absolutely.
It's just that simple. 333-777. You can text and you can get the help. And here it is. You have $1 million in your brain. You just have to figure out how to get it out. And if you text 33777, you're going to be able to get a glimpse, just a glimpse into how you can get that idea out of your brain with the help of JR. He is a true professional in the area of tech support, and he's already given you guys 100 ways of how he can do that. And so we appreciate you so much. Cheryl, any closing thoughts on this topic of maximizing that people power by way of networking, reputation, and motivation?
Man, powerful, my dear brother. Thank you for all of your, we almost wrung you out like a washcloth. Thank you so much. And I know you got even more to share and more in that brain of yours. And congratulations. Also, just on the many accomplishments. No, there's no need to say more.
All right. Okay. So we're going to be back. We're going to close out. Don't forget, we do have some giveaways next week. We're going to have the one and only, right? We're going to have Dr. Joy Scott. We're going to end this up for 2025 as we talk about what your health is wealth. And JR, we hope that you can come back. And we're probably going to need a part 2 on this, especially because you was giving up so much juice and everybody, you're already in the chat. They're already dropping that they want to utilize some of your services. And I'm telling you guys, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. The brother is down by law. Okay, for real, he is the truth. So JR, we thank you so very much. I want to congratulate you again. And thank you so very much for sharing your evening with us. And I'm wishing you safe travels on your trip tomorrow with the Hot Boys, okay, and your event.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right, guys. We will see you back next week with Dr. Joy Scott. You know what we say when we're signing out, right? Good, better, best. Never let it rest until your good is better and your better is best. Thank you guys so very much.
Welcome to Planet Pluto.